Morning, this is Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. This is Monday, July 22nd. Hope everybody is doing well. So let's go to our word of the day first. Our word of the day, see if I can locate it. Word of the day is Crabwise. Crabwise is our word of the day. Moving sideways, typically in an awkward way. Roberto's dodgeball technique was to move crabwise without taking his eyes off of his opponents. So that's our word of the day. Let's go to our S&P 500 here. Tech is bouncing back today. Financials is kind of a mixed bag. And industrial and diagnostics seem to be doing well. And energy is down. Utilities and basic materials are strength. So that's kind of our look there. If you're at all concerned about market moving against you, hard recession, that sort of thing, this is an account you might want to look at. It only goes up when the market goes up, does not go down when the market goes down. Continually goes up the stair steps, beats index investing by about 5% per year. And it does have bonuses of anywhere from 10 to 45%. Feel free to check in with me if you want to learn more information about that. So let us go. We're going to look at some IPOs of note a little later in the show. This is Waystar. Looks like it's working to break out here. It may be a little longer than an IPO base because they're 2 to 4 weeks, but we'll take a look at Waystar and some others in the show. So first, let us go to our dollar index. Dollar index is fading a little bit off 0.07%. Take a look at silver. Silver is not doing too much. We got some gaps below the market. We think it could possibly pull back there. Just depends on the strength of the dollar. Gold bouncing a little bit. Copper index is falling. This is engaged in uranium, bouncing a little bit. See, this is the one that we've been holding for a while. We did close out our covered call option that was at $250. So we pocketed an extra $400 on that one. And now let us go look at our bonds. Bond yields. Bond yields are rising. They're bouncing off of the 10-day moving average up to 4.26. 20-year bouncing as well, up 0.77% at 3.38%. The VIX or volatility index, it did try to move up, but it came crashing right down nearly 10%. I think that would be good for the S&P 500. S&P 500 is bouncing, which we kind of predicted yesterday in our weekend update, is up a little over 1%. As it fell below the 20-day moving average, is now above. RSP, equal weight, is bouncing off of the 10-day moving average, up 0.78%. The NASDAQ, a little bit of a bounce, is still under the 20-day moving average. We'll see if it can get above that. Otherwise, this is going to be holding it back. Support turned to resistance. And now we'll look at the equal weight. Equal weight gets above the 20-day moving average, up 1.18%. IWM bounces off of the 10-day, even though the interest rates are increasing. They're generally restrictive to the small capitalization index. The Dow Jones is bouncing off of the 10-day as well. So that is a story there. Let's go to our news. The PBOC cut the 7-day OMO reverse repo rate by 10 basis points from 1.8 to 1.7 this morning, followed by the 10 basis point cut for both 1-year and 5-year LPR. The move is a dovish surprise given investors largely expected the PBOC to wait for the Fed for the July Politburo meeting, according to Goldman Sachs. Onto our consumer sector news. Abercrombie and Fitch upgraded to overweight from neutral at JP Morgan and raised target from 194 from 167. And they tried to move up and hit their 50-day moving average, and they're moving down 0.13%. Estee Lauder downgraded to market perform from strong buy at Raymond James, and they are bouncing on that news. Elf, which is in their sector, and this has made a huge sell-off. So I'm pretty happy I've sold all my shares at 186. I've been playing with the options, but we're not sure if it has hit bottom yet. Goodyear Tire and Rubber said it defined a definitive agreement to sell its off-the-road tire business to Yokohama Rubber Company for $905 million in cash. Goodyear will retain its business providing off-road tires for the U.S. military and defense application. The transaction will close in early 2025. Onto RH, used to be Restoration Hardware, and a big sell-off, 5.6%, mentioned positively in Barron's, noting shares have fallen 28% over the past year while working through the excesses of the COVID era. However, Stifel analyst Andrew Carter said the bad news seems reflected in the stock, and sales could increase by 8.6% annually from fiscal 2023 through 2026. On to energy, industrials, and materials. Airbus. Let's see if this comes up. It does. It's up 0.86%. Its main competitor, Boeing, has bounced from crisis to crisis, but Airbus shares haven't reflected that, tumbling 7% from the prior year, according to Barron's. Plane maker Airbus, that is still recovering from the supply chain turmoil that devastated the industry during COVID-19. And we're still on Boeing, said it expects delayed suppliers to catch up on parts that have slowed production of its 787 jets to below a rate of 5 a month. U.S. playmaker works to restore output of 2 key commercial programs by year end. C.H. Robinson upgraded to buy from underperform at Bank of America and raised target to 99 from 76. And they are gapping up 1.5% near the low. And Schneider National has been rated as underperformed for neutral with a $23 target, and they're definitely above that. They rise 0.45%. Clearwater Paper signed a deal to sell its tissue business to Italian multinational tissue paper Sofidel for $1.06 billion. Clearwater said the planned sale concludes its review of strategic options for the business and supports its transformation to become an independent supplier of paperboard to North American converters. Enovix initiated to buy at a $25 target at benchmark, and they are falling 2% on that news. Ryanair had some bad news, cuts Q2 forecast, now forecast fares material lower, still forecast customers at 198 to 200 million, and their stock Raiders down 15% on that news. Volume was up 498% on that news. Tellurian shares jumped over 60% early after Woodside Energy said it intends to acquire it for $900 million. Australia-based Woodside on Monday said it agreed to buy Tellurian and its liquefied natural gas development in the southern U.S. for $1 per share in cash. You see they jump up. They're a penny stock. They're up 66%. So for anybody out there who had that was a good day for them. Williams Company said it will start building its delayed Louisiana Energy Gateway natural gas pipeline in coming weeks. We're just going to adjust our information so we can do all the news. On to financials. Berkshire Hathaway sold about 33.9 million shares. Bank of America for around 1.48 billion for multiple transactions this week, according to a regulatory filing. BAC, Berkshire is up slightly, and Bank of America is down slightly on that news. To Fiserv, upgraded to overweight from equal weight at Morgan Stanley, and they're rising in that news as they work on a cup. Possibly they'll develop a handle. This is a long consolidation over here. Globe Life said an audit committee completed review of allegations by two short sellers. Independent review did not identify any matters requiring adjustments to companies previously issued financial statements. So they are up slightly on that news, up 0.76%. Truist Financial, Q2 EPS 91 cents versus 82 cents. Tangible book value per share $42.71. Announced up to a $5 billion multi-year share repurchase authorization with buybacks expected to commence in third quarter of 24. They are up 3.23%. The Federal Reserve fined Green Dot Corporation $44 million late Friday over the firm's handling of prepaid debit cards and tax preparation payment services. Fed said that Green Dot violated consumer laws with its marketing practices. The company also has a deficient consumer compliance risk management program. So they are up 2.59% onto healthcare. TXG or 10X Genomics, graded to buy from hold at Jefferies with an unchanged price target of $24, citing conviction in single cell recovery for the upgrade. And their stock is up 8.44%, but it has fallen quite far from its 57.90 price earlier this last year. So on to technology, media, and telecom. NVIDIA is working on a version of a new flagship AI chips for the China market that would be compatible with the current US export controls. Reuters reported, citing 4 sources familiar with the matter. On to Microsoft. On Saturday, said 8.5 million Windows devices had been affected by the global outage caused due to a faulty upgrade provided by cyber security firm CrowdStrike. Microsoft is up 1.33%, and CrowdStrike is not doing very well today. We got rid of all of our CrowdStrike holdings. It's down another 13.46%. This looks like a waterfall. Could be Niagara Falls or something. Look at that volume. And on to onsemi, announced it has signed a multi-year deal with Volkswagen Group, the primary supplier of complete power box solution as part of its next generation transaction inverter for its scalable systems platform. And they are up 6.62%. And now we kind of turn to our IPO target. So some of the IPOs seem to be forming well. Let me just move over to that section. First, we'll start off with PACs. Kind of in this buy area, up 3% today. On to BBB Foods. It's working on a consolidation here. I guess you could draw the line something like this. And last week would have been a buy out of that area, early buy pattern. Bow Specialty moved up to the pivot and has pulled back a little bit. Pretty good volume, higher volume than was on Friday, up 3.36%. This does not look so good. Century Holdings moving down. Life 360 continues to, it's pulling back to its 20-day moving average. Earnings in 18 days. They do have this huge number, 95% earnings increase this year and another over 2,000 next year. So it might be something to put in your watch list. Waystar Holding, we did add this earlier today. Looks like it's getting pretty close to the pivot on a breakout. Grail pulling back to its declining 10-day moving average. 50-day, you can see it's a huge, pretty far above its 50-day moving average, down 2.71% today. Reborn Coffee, if you continue to hold, is just kind of holding flat right along here. It's up 0.53%. BTC, we have a options trade on this one. Continue to hold that. It's up 0.54%. LOAR Holdings was our IPO of the day. Got a big move. Initially, it was at 4.5%. Now it's moved up to 7.28%. The volume is pretty low over here. Nano Nuclear continues to cascade lower. Merrick's Group, we did add this to one of our other portfolios. It's up 2.9%. United Kingdom, based on financial services companies, provides liquidity and market access and infrastructure services. Proficient Audio Logic moved quite a bit on its IPO breakout over here and just hasn't looked back any. It's in the profit-taking zone right now. Silvaco Group moving up 1.14%, provides TCAD software, EDA software, and SIP solutions. We'll see if that can get more volume here and get near the pivot. Tempest AI may be a little stretched here. I would think the appropriate buy area would have been right in here. This move this day. We'll see if this is a cup pattern, can produce a handle, pull back maybe a little bit, but something definitely for your watch list. This is something that creates intelligent diagnostics through the practical application of artificial intelligence in healthcare. So let us go over to our daily routine. It's up 10%, 200% increase in volume. We have Cato. Actually, Criteo, French provider of advertisement products enabling e-commerce companies to increase post-click sales. A huge volume over here. And it is just soaring out of this little consolidation, this little flat area. You'd almost call that a VCP, volatility contraction pattern, up 10.38%. Terex, capital equipment for construction, infrastructure, and mining, is up about the same, almost 11% on 238% increase in volume. Earnings aren't for 8 days. Mattel, look at that move, up 15% on massive increase in volume, 924% increase in volume as it moves up $2.45. Finally, look at 4D molecular therapy. Had quite a sell-off here and is bouncing 18% today. And that is our look right there. So what are we with our personal portfolio. We showed earlier we had gotten out of ELF, we had gotten out of CrowdStrike. And we will just bring that up. We lost Weatherford to a covered call, but we got back in on Weatherford. Really like where this is kind of headed. That other account where we have Weatherford, we added MRX, United Kingdom-based financial services company. Like this IPO, to see how this goes. On NVIDIA, the kind of bases out here, we did put a $130 covered call. We'll see if that covered call works out or if we'll have to buy it back later. Our calls on air test systems are working out. They're up about a little over 100%. May take a little bit of a profit tomorrow on that. Sun is pulling back a little bit to its 10-day moving average on this option. Continue to watch that one. We added Silvaco Group today. We added Waystar Holding. Continue to hold ARM. It's up slightly today. We'll just see what kind of happens out of this move. We added Bitfarms with kind of the move in Bitcoin. We added it right over here, so it pulled back a little bit, bounced off of the 10-day moving average, and it's heading up today. Front door, we took a little bit of a profit today. We had 5 options. Pulled back a little bit, and now it is bouncing. Up 1.83% today. Datadog, we continue to hold these options. It's up 1.84% today. Dave, continue to hold Dave Software. This was a cup with a handle. We'll just see if it can bounce above 50-day moving average. We have options in App 11. We've had this before, and it's just kind of consolidating. We'll see if it can break up to the pivot area. Pretty low volume at the moment. Kava, we had closed out our 10 covered call options on this one, and we just added another 10 right around 90, 89. So we'll see how that works out. We added 200 shares to Dutch Brothers today off of this bounce off of the 10-day moving average. Continue to hold options in Archer Aviation. Let's see if it gets a little bit of a bounce. Been reading on Yahoo Finance. It predicted in 12 months that this may go to $9 a share. So that would be a nice move if it does. Internet of Things. Exercise our options at 29. And it continue to hold this. It is bouncing. So we'll continue to watch that one. Continue to hold Apollo Global Financial Management. It's bouncing off the 10-day moving average, up 2.89% today. And this one is almost up 7% in our portfolio. Labu, continue to hold this one. Bought right about over here. It is 12% in our portfolio. And BitX, continue to hold. We did not add any more right at the moment. This one is up 36% in our portfolio. And that's a look at what we're doing. This has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Hope everybody has a great day. Go out there and continue to work on your goals. Support them with great activities. We hope to see you around Taco Tuesday. Have a great day.